Hi, some thoughts for today, the 8th Sunday after Trinity. Alexander Graham Bell was born in Edinburgh in 1819. He is now perhaps best remembered for having invented the telephone. I wonder what he would think now about how far his invention has developed and travelled. His original work becoming something that we can carry in our bag and put in our pocket, and that it can be a photo album, a playlist, a diary, and a address book, and goodness knows what else. He was one clever guy. He also invented a wax cylinder to record sound, being an early form of record player. He too invented the audiometer, used to detect a particular problem a person may have with hearing. He also developed the aileron, the moving part of an aeroplane wing, and an early form of hydrofoil boat. In his spare time, he was one of the founders of the National Geographic Society. A clever guy. It was while he was trying to invent something to help deaf people, amongst whom he worked as a teacher, that led him to invent the telephone. During his life, he wrote these words: "We are all too much inclined, I think, to walk through life with our eyes closed. There are things around us and right at our very feet that we have never seen because we have never really looked." There is a story of a man called Jacob, a woodsman, who had a dream. He dreamt that in his province's castle, just below the drawbridge, a life-changing hoard of riches was buried, waiting to be discovered. In the morning he set out for the castle, only to find it heavily guarded. His heart sank. How could he start digging for the treasure with soldiers standing by? He slumped down, desolate and disappointed. One of the guards, on seeing him, asked him what was wrong. Jacob told the guard about his dream and the treasure. "Oh," cried the soldier, "surely you don't believe in dreams. Why, only last night I had a dream of a certain woodsman called Jacob, who whilst working on his house found a huge treasure buried behind his old fireplace. But who believes in dreams?" Jacob hurried home, and there, buried behind his fireplace, was indeed a huge hidden treasure. The woodsman lived happily ever after. As we have discovered over the last few weeks, travelling with Jesus on his way to Jerusalem, his care for those whom he meets is his driving force. Throughout his life, Jesus is living amongst those who live on the edge of society and outside it. He is anxious to be with those who feel lost, isolated and alienated. He seeks to be with those whose spark has gone. He wants to energize and put new life into individuals who feel broken. He wants them to discover what can make their heart sing and give them a reason to greet the sun in the morning with a sense of purpose and of meaning. And this treasure, says Jesus, this treasure that will make your heart sing, is closer than you think. Jesus asks his listeners not to worry, as any anxiety will constrict what they are and can become. Worry will stunt your growth. Instead, discover the treasure God has given you and that lies within you. For many of us, following the advice of don't worry is not easy. Our present time has its real concerns. Recession, inflation, winter fuel costs, Ukraine, and now China and Taiwan. There's plenty to worry about, let alone, in our case, a wedding next Saturday. It's hard not to worry. However, we do need to heed the words of Alexander Graham Bell. And we do need to open our eyes to the treasures around us and within us. It is then that we discover what can make our hearts sing. The awful tragedy in our world today is that so many never discover the treasure within them and never find the score that can make their hearts sing. Jesus asks us to open our hearts and senses in humility and wonder and discover his treasures both inside and outside us. Discover what makes our hearts sing. Travel safe, pilgrim.